Hey there, good morning. So I'm pretty excited because what I'm doing today is I'm cutting the countertops, and this is a good example of I've actually bought countertops in just big wedges already, and so you cannot make a mistake when you're cutting this piece. And so I have measured twice already. I'm about to remeasure both sides because there's numerous cuts. And this, as per usual, is my cut guide, and that's what I'm about to go and check. Really important piece. And basically using a skill saw and a jigsaw, and that's really what I'm doing today, cutting countertops. I'll show you what I'm going to do in a minute. Okay, so I've actually cut all of the cuts for the main, all the different pieces for the countertops. And now I have just measured up and I'm about to cut for the sink insert. And yeah, let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so this whole piece is the piece that I've just cut with these little notches and stuff that are fitted into position. But what I've got here, and by the way, I don't usually do marking with texta or Sharpies, but with this project I've had to because it's dark, but I can actually get that off with isopropyl alcohol. So anyway, that's my mark, and I'm going to cut that out now with a skill saw and a jigsaw. There we have it. We have the hole for the sink cut out, and yeah, there we go. So I'm about to start epoxying the countertops. The first thing I've done here is I've laid down, painter's drop cloth, and I've put this, you see here, this is a dam around it, so if there's any drippage it's not going to spill onto the floor. It's pretty simple. And then I'm putting each on a box, giving it some height, and then I'll level them. Then I'll level each of them before I start doing any epoxying, because epoxying is called self-leveling, so you want it to be leveled, obviously. That's what I'm doing next. Okay, so this is the step in which I put this just plain old packaging tape around the underside edge. This project today is finishing the countertops with epoxy, So I actually had to redo the surface of my countertops, which meant I had to dismount them and dismount the sink. But that's okay, that's another story. But basically I have prepared them. I'll show you the sanding. I've sanded them back because you want, if you're going to put epoxy on top of existing surfaces, you need to rough it up. It's called making it toothy. And being toothy means that there's more surface area onto which the epoxy has to grab the countertop, because it's not bare wood in my example. Now the steps I'm going to go through, you do pretty much the same if you had bare wood, except if you had bare wood, you do a thinner coat first and really rub it in with your hands or your brush. I'm actually doing 2 what are called float or flood coats on these. And so I just wanted to go through I'm going to put all the steps in the description below. I am using a product that I already used for my back table. It's called Pro Marine Tabletop Epoxy. I found it really fantastic for that project. And so I'm using that today also. It has 2 parts, an A and a B part. The next thing you'll need is lots of isopropyl alcohol. You need little measuring cups of whatever size you need for your project, okay? These cups are pretty good because they've got, like here it says 2 to 1. So you'll know how to, because this is a 1-to-1 epoxy that I'm using, so you'd want a 2 to 1, okay? Things like that. Little brushes like this are fantastic for, you know, moving it around or getting the drips off. Something you'll see that I've already done is I've put packaging tape underneath the very underneath surface all the way around. That is a cool tip that I got from YouTube that will mitigate drips at the very bottom of your project that you then need to sand down. Instead, what you're going to do is just rip your packing tape off. It's really fantastic. I've got nitrile exam gloves, and what else? Your instructions. Now this is really important because each epoxy product will have different instructions. So read and reread your instructions. This is the equivalent of read twice, epoxy once, right? So, you know, measure twice, cut once. That's what that reference is to. And then this is the process that I'm going to go through that I will share with you, that I've always got on my phone, so that I'm making sure I'm not missing any steps. And I'm going to go through a few really key parts with you that I found, you know, creates a really beautiful surface for your epoxy project. And another few things, a blowtorch or some sort of heating device is really essential, okay, to getting the bubbles out. Okay, you want a really smooth surface, whether you leave it as high gloss or whether you're going to sand it back as a natural or wood-like finish, which is what I'm probably going to do. I'm still not 100% sure about that, but I think I'm going to actually do the epoxy project and then do a whole series of sanding to get it back to a matte or a satin kind of finish. Okay, so here goes with the epoxying today. So this is them finished with the stone coat, satin top coat, ready for remounting. I think it's a beautiful finish. I love it. So I just wanted to show you the countertops installed, and I've also started to install the back plates and obviously the sink gear. So this is the passenger side, and that also comes with a flip up component here, which I really love. I think it's fantastic. Extra counter space, and of course this beautiful continuity of this wood. Now this refinishing has been a totally successful project. This is as hard as nails now, which is really good for a traveling environment. And of course it's another place for me to sit or work at, or a friend to visit. And then of course here we have the driver's side, and you know, this is designed to be pivoted up over here so that the stove can be used, and it gets clipped up into position up there. And then of course it's designed to come down so that there's again extra counter space. So I'm super happy with the design. The finish is fantastic. It's really enhanced the wood and it's really, really hard. So yeah, super happy with my countertops, and thanks for watching.